Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep. Now right off the bat, I gotta say that this is by far the most fire chapter we have gotten in a long ass time. After reading this chapter in the morning, it got me hyped as the artwork, the action, the reviews, it's all just so perfect and piling up. We've learned so much about the devil of the past and present, as well as the Spade Nation King Dante of the Dark Triad. So as always, here is my opinion with balls deep prediction magic theories on what is happening in Black Clover. So first off, Asta is practically an entirely different person in his new form, as we all thought this would happen at the end of last week's chapter. Cause like, come on man, he's drooling and looks just like OG Gaara, and we all know how nuts he was.
Go crazy! Go stupid! Go crazy!
This is basically the same thing, or maybe it's closer to Six Tails Naruto in his fight against Pain, which is something you could compare this fight to a lot. Either way, Asta is in a completely different mental state, and he's now bent on killing Dante no matter what it takes. He's unleashing his true feelings just like he wanted. This is all according to Dante's plan. He's toying with Asta, playing around with him, and what you have to understand is that Dante is so psychotic that waltzing up to the Black Bull base and killing someone was his idea of fun. I mean, come on, the man is even forcing his marriage to a woman even though she's saying no, but he likes her saying, oh my god, she's so thick.
Let me suck your titties, baby.
This is how he gets his rocks off, and it's not even what he went there intending to do, but he's doing it anyway. Remember, he actually wants Yami because he's an arcane mage. Speaking of which, where the hell is Yami? He's best boy and everything, but this is the second time that the base has been attacked whilst he's away. He's probably been on the toilet this whole time, right? Oh shit! We have to hope Asta will be able to put in that work and put his new strength to good use, as Vanessa stated. We do see at the end of the chapter that he's able to cut Dante, which gave some Thanos vs Iron Man vibes. Dante was like,
all that for a drop of blood.
in all seriousness though, this is a big deal and confirms that Asta is most definitely at his strongest more powerful than Yuno, because we can safely say that Dante is stronger than Zeno, right? But Yuno couldn't even touch Zeno, you know the rest.
Holy look at all this damage!
First of all, we learned that these devils we've been running into all have names. We got Meducula's name early on, but everyone else's name were a mystery, including the word magic devil, which I assumed we were never gonna get because he got bodied. As far as we know, we learned that the word magic devil's name is Zagred. Dante's devil name is Lucifer. That's right, this man got Satan inside him, and that explains a lot about his personality.
If you get to heaven, write this down, you get to heaven and you don't find me there, you have gone to hell. That's not heaven.
But even more than a name, if you think about it, Dante is a lot like Lucifer itself. The Lucifer you see in media nowadays and even in religious theology. He's a confident being who does whatever the hell he wants and doesn't give a crap what anyone else thinks. On top of that, Tabata also throws in some of the religious Lucifer in there, in a sense where Satan wants you to fall into sin and revel in your desires, just like Dante wants Asta to give into his anger and hatred. Lucifer is someone that defied God and promised him that he will make all of humanity, who was another creation at the time, to follow him and fall into sin. Sin could be evil intentions or your desires which defy the belief in God, which foreshadows that there may be angels or a godlike being revealed in the future of Black Clover. Anyway, Dante is literally personifying what he stated in chapter 242, that humans' innate nature is evil and animals do not have the same capability of having these intentions. He's playing this god complex persona with an aura that goes with it. He defies the philosophy of the main character, who is Asta, so this has some Naruto vs Pain vibes all over it, and I'll explain more why later. Moving on, Gorsh isn't dead yet. We all saw him get stabbed last week, but he's still in this bitch because his grimoire is still there, which is the bare minimum sign we need to know to see if a character is alive or not. Now, I'm not sure if he'll make it through to next week's chapter, but it's looking like he won't make it, since Grey, you know, she realizes the truth about herself and that she is indeed useless. I mean, this bitch did nothing this whole fight and was just watching like I got some popcorn out like it's some spectator. But I bet Tabata will whip out another ass pull with her making some transforming heal magic to save the day, since the power scaling in Black Clover, remember guys, it is indeed the fact that when a magic knight is put into a drastic situation or pushed to their limits, a new spell will manifest for that person. But funny how this shit doesn't happen for the enemy, I'm just saying.
That'll make no sense.
But let's be honest, no hate on Gorsh's character, but if there's anyone the fanbase wouldn't mind Tabata sacrificing from the Black Bulls, it'll be this man.
I'm here to tell you right now,
We don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Anyway, back to the devils, we learned that Bosley Predation Magic was correct regarding the anti-magic devil being lower class, and how he may be just like Asta in a sense that he's a commoner who has no magic in his society. Lucifer says that the anti-magic devil seems to be from the lower class that lacks mana, and he literally lacks mana just like Asta. The anti-magic devil is a reflection of Asta if you think about it, and he's exactly what he would have become if he didn't have the positive influences in his life. No one knows who the anti-magic devil is because he probably had no one in his life to begin with, and that's why he holds a grudge against other devils due to the discrimination of never having the opportunity to have a vessel or for being weak and lower class. As we know, the anti-magic devil would kill any human he possessed due to his nature, except for Asta due to his mutation of having no mana. Now, technically speaking, Asta would have been the same way had he not had the right people in his life. The anti-magic devil seems to have a grudge, and somehow my guy specifically ended up with the Demon Slayer swords that have it in the damn name that would allow him to act upon that grudge on his own race and society. We also see Asta use something similar to Mana Zone, almost like anti-magic zone, which we've mentioned in the past. So once again, Bosley Prediction Magic is too powerful, guys. But anyway, Tabata is always angry at me, guys. Every single week he calls me up, he's so pissed, he's like, bro, I hate you. Why do you spoil Black Clover every week, man? Why? Now, this isn't confirmed to be anti-mana zone, but it works in a similar way because Vanessa says that Asta's strike eliminated all the magic Dante had cast in that general area of effect, just like anti-magic zone would, right? If Asta can learn to control this, it could be huge. This could seriously turn the tide for him and make him even more likely to beat Yuno. Speaking of Asta, we also see that he's clearly resonating with Lucifer, just like he did with Zagred, as we mentioned last week. This is likely the key to Asta's newfound strength, and it may be Dante's downfall, because Asta is able to injure him even if only slightly. This means he has the potential to straight up beat him should he awaken enough of his devil power. Now clearly there has to be some huge spike in Asta's power for him to be capable of this, and trust me, there is. Asta can now extend his sword almost like a whip and take care of long range enemies, which can also be useful against a character like, as I said, I don't know, I'll say it again, Yuno. Literally fam, this man can just whip Yuno out of the air and cancel his magic. Asta is too broken, and I think he's one of the most powerful characters in the whole show at the moment. Dante mentions in chapter 243 that Asta has lost his mind and cannot speak. Remember that using Weg magic takes away your humanity, explained to us in chapter 205 and 216. So furthering from the knowledge we gained from this chapter, let's continue the theory regarding Asta's origin as his mother was revealed in chapter 242. Now as you know, we cover theories on the channel on a weekly basis. That's why it's so important as a community that we support one another. I'd appreciate if you can help the channel by smashing that like button. Let's get to at least 15 to 20,000 likes on this goddamn bitch. Also hit the notification bell so we are all on the same page when I make these videos. Since I have so much to cover, I will be making a separate video regarding Asta's devil in the future to keep things concise, because I have so many thoughts and theories on this matter. Anyway, discussing the aspect of Asta's mother, we can theorize multiple things. Remember the theory we discussed before that Asta's mother is also from the Spade Nation, and she sent him to Harj village to protect the future against Dante. One popular notion is that Asta is part of the family that protects the Grin Burial family that Yuno is from. This is foreshadowed by the fact that in their childhood, Asta specifically was protecting Yuno from a bully and gave back the necklace Yuno received as a baby. Asta has always been shown to have a protective nature even as a child. He has saved Yuno's life multiple times throughout the series. Now you must wonder to yourself, how the hell did Asta end up in the church at the exact same time with Yuno with the same clothing and robes? We now know his mother must have named him, and this makes sense because his mother seems to be from the Spade Nation and was involved in the attack the day the Zokratis family destroyed everything in that kingdom. The evidence to this is the fact that Asta's memory of his mother triggered when he saw Gorsh receive a wound similar to her before she left him in chapter 242. We can see that she's clearly bloodied up and damaged. Also, when we look at her clothing, it's like a commoner and the very same hair color like the royal guard family that we saw in chapter 234 who dropped Yuno off at the church. She must have sent him to protect the future Prince of Spade so that they could come back one day to cause a revolution and save their people. I have been talking with 5 Leaf of Despair on Twitter, for example, you know, the girl that thought I was sliding into her goddamn DMs. I still see a shadow. But we came to the conclusion that history is repeating itself, but the Light Triad, who are the counterpart of the Dark Triad, will break the cycle of tyranny through the nations to bring about a better tomorrow. Think about it. Dante and the others have affected all of their lives in a drastic way that caused them to be who they are. Tabata is having the past repeat itself to invoke their memories and for them to destroy the cycle. For example, Yuno is a prince whose family was slaughtered and his identity was stripped away from Zeno 16 years ago during the Spade Nation betrayal. This resulted in Yuno growing up with his new circumstances and friends who he now calls family, and was becoming an important person in the Clover Kingdom with a new identity. However, once again, Zeno appeared, who destroyed the Golden Dawn family, and as well as his identity being stripped away from him, since Yuno doesn't even know who he is anymore, and this mentally broke him as he screamed in agony in chapter 239, and Yuno had the worst day of his life.
I am having a very bad day.
History repeating itself is personified once again, with Yuno receiving a vision of Zeno from 16 years ago as his memories are becoming more vivid in chapter 239. In terms of Noelle, the Triad destroyed her life by cursing her mother, which resulted in Noelle being blamed for her death. Noelle then grew up with a disorder and cannot control her magic. She doesn't know the truth regarding what happened, but apparently her mother was a role model and a strong woman that people looked up to. The cycle repeats itself with the Heart Queen, as Noelle now sees her as a role model revealed in chapter 228 and chapter 232 page 3, where she is impressed with how she uses her magic and delegate tasks like a leader should, much like her mother Assia. However, the Heart Queen, just like her mother, was cursed by Meducula, which resulted in death. Noelle is trying to find out the truth from the past so that she can stop it from repeating again and save the people from the curse. The trio are all in the same predicament, which brings me to Asta. Asta's mother was killed during the Spade Nation attack, which makes sense to how he ended up at Hajj village on the same day as Yuno with the same clothing and being named, which resulted in him receiving her memory as Gorsh died, as he is also dying by Dante's hands just like her. Since Asta's mother wouldn't want him to live in a nation that will be ruled by devils, she could have sent him to protect the royal prince and come back to cause the revolution that will be needed to save the world. Dante has clearly shown in chapter 243 and chapter 242 that he has no idea who Asta is and why he has a devil. Even Lucifer confirmed the notion, so the argument that Dante helped create Asta is out of the window and makes no sense.
That'll make no sense.
The people that must have manipulated Asta's future is either his parents or the anti-magic demon at this point, with the knowledge that we have so far. The whole idea of Asta breaking the cycle is foreshadowed in the whole story of Black Clover. We know for 500 years the corruption of society with the imbalance of power has caused suffering. For example, Nero said that Asta is similar to the first Wizard King. Raya said Asta is not lying when he proclaimed to unite the people just like Licht. Remember that Lumiere was someone that wanted to unite the world and create peace. As a royal, he cared about commoners and wanted to create tools that could help people with low magic power to become part of society. But due to the monarchy wanting to retain power within themselves and the devil interfering, this plan failed. 500 years later, Julius as the Wizard King is trying to do the same thing, but he witnessed the first commoner Magic Knight die by his hands of his own people due to the corruption of power and the attitude of people. The poison is the culture itself. Julius believes that the new generation of Magic Knights, in which he took a keen interest in Asta due to his mentality, is what will make this change occur and break the cycle. Now, according to the Witch Queen, Asta has a mutation that causes him to have no mana. Not being special is what makes him special, but we know that the anti-magic demon is somewhat destined for him. The mutation can even be seen as a metaphor due to the fact that this dude Asta is like a virus that will bring down the walls of corrupt society and change the world for the better. This is what Tabata means when he states that Asta is the antithesis to the entire series. As I said many times, Asta grew up in circumstances that would never allow him to agree with Dante's ideology, and this is what his mother planned to occur. For instance, if Asta grew up in the Spade Nation, he would have been a product of his environment that would allow him to agree to worshipping Dante and not making a difference at all. The Light Triad have their lives intertwined together due to what happened in the past, and they have proven often that they are breaking the trend to topple the corrupt regime. Yuno as a royal accepts commoners, which is unheard of, and has has a commoner best friend. Asta is a commoner that aspires to be the Wizard King and is all-powerful. Noelle is a royal that accepts commoners and in fact wants to marry one. Whilst at the same time, they all agree that they want equality, therefore changing the system as they believe in humanity that it is good. Dante is a whack job that wants to destroy humanity as he believes it's evil. One last thing we cannot forget is that the Heart Queen stated to Asta that if he saves her and destroys the Dark Triad by the end of the arc, she would answer any question that he has with her knowledge, because remember, she has read the manga, fam. She knows everything. She's omniscient and has probably knows a lot of stuff. So Asta can ask anything, such as about the anti-magic demon, who is his mother, who is his father, or even help Noelle regarding her mother since he is so selfless, and you know, she's just gonna be tsundere about it like Anyway guys, I have so much more to say, so many theories that I have regarding the anti-magic devil with Asta, but I will make another video separate to this about that. So be sure to hit the notification button as I will discuss the anti-magic demon theories in a separate video next week. Please remember to follow us on Twitter or Instagram to stay in the loop, and I'll see you guys next time.